14. So now, as we are living in this material world, we are utilizing so many resources. For example, air. We are breathing air. We are using the water, sunlight, even jewels. Jewels are not manufactured in the factory. They are mined from the earth. Glass is made from sand. And everything is made of earth or wood. These are all transformations of soil, even plastic. We are taking so many things from this world. We are taking the natural resources. We are taking elements like air, water, fire, sunlight, moonlight. We are taking all these things. Not only that, but when we are born into some culture or tradition that has been preserved and inculcated from many generations. Plus we are using Vedic knowledge, medical knowledge, so we are indebted to the scientists and these people who are making that knowledge, and rishis and munis who protected that knowledge. In this way we are indebted. We are indebted to the government because we are just using the roads and moving around. The government made the road. This is a proper understanding how in this world we are indebted because of so many things. Even this body, I am actually not moving it. I am in here. I am desiring to walk, and then the demigod who is in charge, he will make me walk. I desire and it happens. One day I'll desire, it won't happen. One day I won't be able to walk, I won't be able to digest, I won't be able to stand up. Then the demigod will refuse to. So everything we do is dependent. We are dependent 100% on demigods. We are dependent on different living entities, forefathers. We are indebted, really. We had a debt. This is a proper understanding. Now, someone may say that, look, the sun is there, I'm using it. Something is there, I'm using. There's no one owning it. So if I see a phone charging, no one is there, can I take it? No one is there. Doesn't mean that the owner is not there. I mean, there's no owner. And actually, it's not that the owner is always present watching. So, all these resources are supplied by God through devatas to us. Resources, even the body, the mind, the senses, this material world, everything is there, which is given by God. This is the arrangement of the material world. Now, in Vedic culture, if someone owes money to someone and dies not paying it, there's a result for that. For example, Brihaspati says in some of his teaching that one has to be born as a servant or a dog or a female member of that family serving that person if they don't pay the debt. If the debt is a lot, there's certain codes given in Manu Samhita that he has to be born, next life, he'll have to pay a lot of money to that person. It will increase the amount. Okay, so if it's little, if it's a lot, there are different reactions. The point is we should not die in debt. We are supposed to pay back. Now we are using all these resources, and so they are given to us, and we are not thinking about repaying. Okay, now what does Bhagavad Gita say about this? Let's look. In chapter 3, text 10, there is a shlok where Krishna is saying to Arjun that at the beginning of this creation, all the jivas like us, we are put in this world, and yajna is given to us. Yajna means the Vedas are given, and then Vishnu told them, be happy by this yajna. Why? Because by doing yajna, everything that you need will be supplied, and you will also get liberation. Okay, we will get, because we are in this material world, I have a material body, it has needs. If I'm pure soul, there's no need. But I have a material body, I need food, I need water, I need shelter. So, I have needs. And so I'm looking for those needs. That's life, isn't that life? I'm looking for my necessities. So now, how to get the needs? Now we have worked out this formula of economy and finance. We have to struggle hard to get some money, to buy things, to support ourselves. But the Vedic system was not like that. The system was that one has to do yajna, please the devatas, they will supply. It was like that for millions of years. History, we know from Mahabharata, and only now, Kali Yuga, we became more smart and made the system where we had to struggle hard. But actually, the system was, we do yajna. So Vedas have three divisions. Veda Brahmatma Vishayas, Trikhanda Vishayam Ime. Trikhanda. Jnana Khand, Upasana Khand, and Karma Khand. Upasana Khand is the part of the Vedas which contains yajnas. So there were yajnas to do for everything. There was yajna for example, Bhumi Puja yajna. There was yajna for getting rain. There was yajna for pleasing the different demigods. So here, this is given in Bhagavad Gita, that Vishnu said, do the yajna and you will get your necessities and you will get liberation also, because by doing yajna, you are following the Veda, you will get advanced. Okay, so this is there. Yajnas were meant for, what is yajna? Yajna means it's a form of worship to please the devatas or Supreme Lord. Okay, it's a form of worship, something that we'll do. Example of yajna is like japa, even sankirtan, distributing prasadam. This is yajna. But mostly here is implying homa. They were yajnas they do at home. So, do the yajna, devatas are pleased. They supply everything. When we do the yajna, devatas get some kind of nourishment. We cannot explain it. It's different from us. But they get some benefit from that. And then they are pleased to supply and liberation. Now the next verse explains that devatas will be pleased and provide resources abundantly. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu va parasparam bhavayanta shreya paramavapsyatha. The demigods or devatas being pleased will also please you. Thus, by cooperation between Manusya and Deva, the mankind and the devas, prosperity will reign for all. Both will be happy. So devatas, they have to be pleased to supply. They have to become happy to supply. They are empowered by Vishnu to provide. But you see, they are not independent. They are following the plan of Vishnu. The plan is, you jivas have been brought here, so do the yajna, then devatas supply everything we need. But now we are breaking the deal, because we are using all the things but we are not doing yajna. So we are not following the prescribed system according to Bhagavad Gita. So if we use the resources and we don't do yajna, then we are disobeying. Then we become debtors. If someone is owing something and not paying, that is actually punishable also. Becomes punishable. So previously there was a whole knowledge in society about these things. People were very careful to observe so many different observances, because they understood that we are bound by rules of Shastra. It says in Srimad Bhagavatam 1st canto that just like a cow, I mentioned many times this analogy, a cow is bound by the nose and so has to follow the one pulling the rope. It cannot escape. So similarly, we are bound by Vedic injunctions. We cannot avoid them. We must follow them. And if we don't, then there will be reactions. So people don't have this knowledge now, and even say they want to do the yajna, but you cannot even find the ingredients. It's very specific to do homa, what, sacrifice yajna, what ingredients we need. So, but the thing is that if we are living as debtors, that means we are using things but not paying back, then there's a term which Krishna is giving. He says in 3.12, Ishtan bhogan hivo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha ter datan aprayabhyo yom bhukte stena eva saha. He says that in charge of the necessities, the devatas, being satisfied by the yajna, they will supply necessities. But if we enjoy such a gift without offering to the gods in return, not doing yajna, it says here, Yom bhukte stena eva saha. Stena, Sanskrit, means thief. Thief. Thief means he's taking, it's not his. He didn't ask permission. So here Bhagavad Gita is saying, people who live in this world and use everything and don't do yajna, they are called thieves. Stena, thief. So then what happens? A thief is never happy. A thief always has to suffer because he's living in the, let's talk about actually thieves living in a country. They always have to be careful where they are in case they get caught, and they always have, they're not living a free life, and if they're caught, they're punished. So these are result. So now it's recommended that one should do this, and if they're not doing it, then they're compared to level of thieves who are taking and not giving back. So in this way, a society of thieves cannot be happy. They can't be happy. Even if among themselves they say, for example, countries have made organizations like United Nations, World Trade Organization, etc. like that. Why? They said that we'll divide everything properly, we will not fight. Okay, so Prabhupada gives an analogy like thieves. They stole so many things, then they're sitting in together and speaking. Okay, now let's honestly divide everything. Don't cheat. Be honest. They already stole everything. Why you want to be honest now? They already stole. They're thieves. Now you want to divide honestly. So now we have removed the owner of this planet, owner of the resources. We are not anymore listening. So among ourselves we are trying to make peace, not fight, and it will never work, it will not work. Because the root is wrong. We went against the owner, the creator. So now we want to be happy among ourselves. We are ignoring the owner. So that it won't work. So there'll be a lot of reactions. Necessities of life is like, you see, I mentioned light, water, air, soil, giving proper crops, fruit, vegetables, and moonlight, sunlight, jewels come from the mountains, from the mines, and from the ocean. And these things are part of material life, they're needed, but we'll not get it. Now there's lack of resources. People are struggling, lack of resources. So human society will suffer. How will they suffer? For example, drought, no water. This is very common in different parts of the world. Drought, war. Prabhupada explains, when there's a war, he said that it is actually Kali. If Kali Ma comes now with weapons, she'll kill everyone. But it's not that she'll always come herself. War that happens, when there's a massacre, there are many massacres that happen nowadays, you know, especially in Middle East, recently in Africa, if you hear news, massacres are happening, more and more in Kali Yuga. We'll think these are people killing each other, how bad, but actually try to understand, there's nature. Whenever there's destruction happening, this is Kali Ma. The warriors, Kshatriyas, and even, for example, even Kalari, you know Kalari, the traditional martial arts of Veda, they will take shelter of Hanuman and Kali. When there's a war, Kshatriyas will chant Durga, Kali's name, and fight. Because the destructive principle, she is in charge, she is destroying. Okay? So we say even that Lord Shiva is doing a Tandava Nritya, that is destruction. That is the final. But any destruction happening, Prabhupada said, this is the Rudra principle. He says in one purport. So when we see a flood, tsunami, or we see destruction, a massacre, war, many people died, this is Kali, this is nature destroying the people. These are punishments. Drought, war, pestilence. You know what is pestilence? Pest, you know, locust. It means you plant something and then insects come and eat everything. You cannot do anything. They are little small things. How many will you protect? Or, people now, they're growing papayas and things, and at night the bats are coming and eating. Birds are eating. And they cannot get the money. They cannot harvest. Pestilent, epidemic. This is in Bhagavatam, epidemic. Recently we had an epidemic. These are reactions from nature. Flood also. Flood. So basically, suppliers are not cooperating. They are not cooperating. The supplier, they're meant to come and give things. They are not giving. Their natural resources. Why? Yo bhukte stena, thieves. Thieves have to be punished. They are not repaying. So this suffering happens only humans, not animals. Animals are getting what they need. We only be over smart and we are using more but not doing the yajna. So you see in human society all kinds of different things are happening. People are suffering. And this yajna is not meant for animals. It's meant for humans. Humans are meant to do yajna and they're not doing it. So most out of the different examples of how yajna is important, one particular example is given that actually even just to eat food you have to do yajna. Okay, there's a shlok. Anad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anasambhava yajna bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhava. Okay, translation. Now this is some, try to understand the sequence. All living entities subsist on food grain. Anad bhavanti bhutani. For this body to survive, I have to give grains. Okay? Grains come from rain. If there's no rain, the grain won't grow. Rain comes from yajna. Yajna is born of prescribed duty. What is the duty prescribed? We have to do it. So, the sequence is there. I have to have grain. Grain is growing from the ground, but the water is needed, rain is needed, and rain will only come if you do yajna. Human society is not doing yajna. We had, same things I mentioned last time here, that we had so many rivers, and rivers were very big. They were not small like this. Even this, you see Pala River, how big is that bridge? Where's the bridge? Where's the river? It's not there anymore. Small part of it. Rivers are drying, crops. This is the punishment they are withholding, just like in a war. There's a war between two parties, so they'll withhold the food, will not let the food pass so people suffer. So because people are not doing yajna, they're being punished by restricting resources. Then we are living very difficult, it's difficult to get water, difficult to get ghee, grains are so expensive. Actually, everywhere is soil, water is there, so why can't we get grains? No rain. So, from this we understand, simply if you want to eat, if you want to live properly, you have to do yajna. This is the creation of the Lord. He has given the system, but we are not listening. And we may say, because I didn't know. I don't know. Now we don't know. But it means in a past life we did know, but we made decision not to do it. And not only that, some may say, okay, I'm born, but I don't understand about this yajna, so I'm living like this. But we don't know, because in a past life we did not want to know. Otherwise, Vedas are pervading everywhere. Vedas are present everywhere. We can get the knowledge. But it's not being revealed to us because in a past life we didn't want it. So we are born in a circumstance where we don't know. So actually ignorance is not excuse. When punishment comes, it will come. It will come. So I was saying that, see, the rivers are drying and fruit. Sometimes we have a mango tree, sitafal, guava. We are waiting. Mango season comes once a year. We are waiting, then mango season don't come. Or some flowers come, then heavy rain washes the flowers, no fruits. And just for show now all the fruit trees. Nothing is coming. And even they may plant some crops, something will wash it away, we're not getting. It's not by chance. This is restriction. We are being restricted. I was speaking about jewels. A lot of jewels. Before, if you read Bhagavatam, People used to eat on golden plates. Prabhupada says in one purport of Srimad Bhagavatam, there, you know, Arjun is called Dhananjaya. Why? Because there was going to be one big yajna and they needed a lot of wealth. So Krishna told Arjun where to get it. They went north, and then somewhere he said, dig here. They dug and found golden things. He said that there was a king previously where they had a big yajna, he used the plates, then they just buried it. The plates were golden. So Prabhupada said formerly people used to eat in gold plates, spoons, gold was everywhere, jewels were everywhere. He said, then Prabhupada said, but now we are more advanced, so we are using glass jewelry and plastic plates. So formerly people could easily get even jewels and look good. People were turned out nicely, cotton. Now we can't afford. Prabhupada said in one purport in Chaitanya Charitamrita that people now cannot afford to look good. Simply he said like this, just put tilak in 12 places, you can look very good. That's it. Now, and then you look very nice actually. Otherwise, not like before, they'll have jewels here on the helmet, everywhere. Even villagers. When Krishna, if you read about him, everywhere there are jewels. Not only Krishna, the cowherds. Okay, now no one can get these things. They're out of reach. Okay, so restrictions. These are restrictions. And human society, they have made their choice. That even, you know, knowing that we have to please God, they made a choice. But then this is Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, the jivas who take birth, they are sinful. We came now, we were not born in Dwapar Yuga or Treta. It's because we are sinful, we are dharmic. So we are born in a situation, no dharma, no culture and everything. It's from a past life. So now Vedas are here like Gita, Bhagavatam to push us more that no, you have to do yajna, you have to do, you must do. What will you eat? In future, when people stop or any kind of yajna or religious activity, spiritual activity, Prabhupada said that everything will disappear from this earth. In Kali Yuga it's described. Water, no milk, no fruits, no vegetable. Then everyone will eat meat. Only meat will be there. But then after some time, even the meat in the cow will be very thin, only skin and bone. Then he says, then people will eat each other. It will get very bad. Because all from one thing, they are not following the plan of the earth. Now, in 3.15 of Bhagavad Gita, this verse tells us that supposing someone says, okay, I should do yajna, let me do yajna. Let me satisfy the Supreme Lord and the Devatas. To do that, we have to take guidance of Shastra. This is another problem. People say, let me be spiritual, let me be, but then they are not, they're doing their own thing, what they think. Okay, so they'll cook up some way that, okay, I'll worship this and that, I'll chant this mantra, I'll do, they're not following anything from Vedas. Okay, this is a verse, Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi Brahmaksharam Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yajne Pratishtitam. Regulated activities, which is that we should do regularly as a rule. Regulated activities are prescribed in the Vedas. Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It comes directly from Vishnu. Therefore, the all-pervading transcendence, Brahman, is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. Okay, what is it saying? That the yajna that we will do is given in the Vedas. Vedas come from Narayan. Veda Narayan Sakshat. Therefore, when we do yajna, then we are contacting Vishnu directly. We are coming in contact with Vishnu because the yajna is prescribed by Vishnu, it's in the Vedas, and we follow the Veda. That means we are contacting him. Brahmaksharam Karma Brahmaksharam Samudbhavam. Okay, so by doing the yajna, Brahma Samsparshana, we come in contact with spiritual energy. We are, human society is in contact with God when we are regularly doing what we should do. Which means, for example, we had to do Bhumi Puja when we should, You know, now this Griha Pravesh, Bhumi Puja, this is example of that. When in yajna, different puja, worship, fasting, vrat, festivals, nourishing appearance day, Krishna's appearance. These are all different things we have to observe. So what happens when we do these? Oh, by the way, not only that, but we are also talking about, for example, samskar, anaprashna, okay, and there's vivaha yajna, that's also yajna. But now that people are not doing, this live-in thing is there, no? Very sinful, suffering. They'll go through difficulty. So this is part of the things. Homa, puja, purificatory rites, samskars, bhumi puja. So the plan of the Vedas is that everyone has material desires. That's why we came to this material world. So the Vedas are saying, fulfill your material desire like this way, follow this, and do the yajna. What will happen? Same time we'll fulfill our desire and we'll get liberation. This is mentioned. Just by following regulations in the Vedas. Actually, if we don't follow Shastra, we cannot even enjoy it. If you want to enjoy, even if you have money, you have everything, to live a proper life, you have to follow Shastra. It teaches how to enjoy in a pious way. If we do Vikram, we enjoy without following Shastra, it will destroy and make us sinful. Then we'll go through suffering. So now the verse says, necessity of satisfying Krishna is that we have to work to satisfy Yajna Purusha, Vishnu. So Vedas are directions given to us how to do those yajnas, how to live. And yajna doesn't just mean homa, puja and all this, but simply doing your duty. If someone does their duty as, say, father or king on these things properly, this is yajna. Therefore, that shloka I read, it said, yajna karma samudbhavam. By doing your karma properly, that is yajna. For example, for women, if women do Stri Dharma, Prabhupada said one thing. He said that in a house where the man and woman are doing their duties and living properly, he said that Lakshmi will descend in that house, there will be no shortage. This is yajna. They should do their duties. Duties are prescribed for man, for woman, everything. Now people are saying modern age we can mix up the duties, women don't have to do, men, whatever, mixing. But Veda doesn't say that. Everyone is given their duty to follow. If we follow, Devatas are pleased, this is yajna also. Doing the duty, we are not doing it. So therefore again reactions. Okay, so even if one wants to do yajna, it says one should always take direction from the Vedas. Okay, now Veda says which yajna to do, in which circumstance, how. According to time and place, it's different. For someone in Swargaloka, it's different. Rules are different. For someone in Madhyaloka, our planetary, earthly planetary system, Bhumi, the laws are different. It's different. And according to time, Satyayug is different, Kali Yuga is different. We must take guidance from Shastra. We have to understand. Ignorance is not excuse. Just like a child doesn't know this is fire. A fire will say, poor child, he's 3 years, he doesn't know what is fire, let me not burn him. No, it has to act. It will act, laws will act, even if we don't know. Okay, so if properly followed, then everything will be satisfying. Okay, there has to be proper cooperation between devatas and mankind. You see, but nowadays, all the barriers were in society have been broken. There's a saying in English I heard from one person. If you don't understand, and you see all these sayings, traditional Vedic sayings, they'll make sense only to someone living in a village or farm. In the city we don't understand these things. But the saying is, if you don't understand why the fence is there, don't remove it. You understand? You are walking and you're seeing a fence. Oh, why is this here? You remove it. But you first understand why that fence is there. If you don't, then suddenly you are seeing a bull charging at you 60 miles an hour, about to hit you. There is no fence anymore. Now in human society, there are restrictions. Restrictions are given. Okay, I could give many examples. Particularly, I'm giving one example. That before, you see, there was that marriage institution, that this is crumbled. Now you have this girlfriend, boyfriend, live-in relation. And now it's like free mixing. Who cares? No one is seeing. But according to Shastra, everyone is seeing. Who is seeing? Surya, Chandra, Vayu, demigods. 33 crore demigods. They are watching everything and noting. And one of the biggest sin, it says in Gita, Mahashano, Mahapapma, is calm. Therefore, it was regulated. How? In the marriage institution. That is yajna. It's called Vivaha Yajna. Now that is done in a different way with yajna and duties and duties are performed, samskars, everything. Then we advance and we also satisfy material desires. But we didn't understand those rules, so we broke them. Okay? And so free mixing now and this live-in relation, etc. And already it's creating tension and problem in our society on that surface. But at a deeper level, it creates tremendous material reaction in terms of covering our consciousness more and more, such that all the spiritual tendencies disappear and the next life is very dark. Okay, I'm just giving an example about how rules and regulations are there which are not followed and they give problem. So, but it's not that, you see, there are restrictions, but it's not, people live a life of enjoyment also in Vedic culture, but in a regulated way. So now, what does doing yajna mean? Yajna, this word. I keep speaking about the fact that we have to do yajna. Actual meaning of yajna, if you translate it, comes to sacrifice in English. It's a deep term. It's difficult to translate words of Sanskrit to English fully. But yajna means something I'm doing not for me, for Vishnu. Yajna is a name of Vishnu also. Yajnathat karmano. Work for yajna, Vishnu. So yajna means I am doing it for God, pleasing God. Okay. Or to the devatas. So today, if we say that we want to satisfy the devatas, if we say that, I want to satisfy devatas. So now how are we going to do that? First of all, previously they had the Upasana Kand. It was the collection of yajnas in the Vedas for pleasing Brihaspati, Narayan, Surya Narayan, Chandra, so many. Where is it? We don't know where it is now. Most of the Vedas are not present. So now, we don't have this information. How to please the demigods, devatas. Yet we have to do that. So, another problem is, even if you say, yes, I know what to do. Okay, now get the ingredients. Specific, very specific. You have to get barley, then you have to get the wood, then you have to have 4 kind of spoons for the homa, and there have to be 4 brahmanas, and brahmanas have to be chanting the verses very properly. You know what happens if they make a mistake? In Srimad Bhagavatam, Indra did a yajna for killing someone. He sat in the yajna and the brahmana, instead of saying ah, he said ah, 1 syllable mistake. Then the demon was born and came to attack Indra. He had to run away. So it's dangerous. You do the yajna or don't do, or you do it properly. So even if we say, no, I have information to do the yajna, okay, do it now. But where are the people qualified to chant the mantras? To know the procedure? Where is that pure ghee? And if you make offense, again, it will be a problem. Pure ghee, proper. And you cannot do yajna anywhere where a cow has been killed within 2 kilometers. That's a problem also. Because that whole land is contaminated. Now where will you do yajna? What will we do? How will we please the demigods? So this is Kali Yuga. Welcome to Kali Yuga. We cannot do anything proper like before. We cannot even do the temple worship, homa. dhyana. We cannot do. We are Kali Yuga Jivas. No one's fault, only us. So now, what Bhagavatam is saying, because Bhagavatam is the summary of Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta is the summary distilled essence of the Upanishads, the highest part of the Vedas. We want a source of knowledge where we have to understand quickly in a short while, because we are not living like 100,000 years like in Dwapar Yuga, 1,000 years, Dwapar Yuga was 1,000, or 10,000 Treta Yuga, or 100,000 years Satya Yuga. We are supposed to live 100 years. That also many people won't get, because everything is a pesticide in our food, and smoke in the air we are breathing. Even if we lived 50, 60 nicely, it's a good thing. So now in this time you have to understand what is Shastra, what is Veda, what is Yajna. Short time. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam came for us. Yasvanubhavam akila shruti saram ekam. One essence of all the Vedas. Saram ekam. Tamo andham, atitishatam tamo andham. Atitishatam means suffering, for the suffering souls who are blind because of not seeing. Ekam, adhyatma deepam, atitishatam tamo andham. So it is like a torch of knowledge for us who are not able to see. We don't have knowledge. So Bhagavatam says, in order to worship all the devatas, we have to do yajna for everyone, because I said we are using all these resources. So what do we do? So Bhagavatam says that, you see, all the devatas, it's like a tree, and there is Adi Dev, the origin of the devas. He is Krishna. It says that yatataror mula nishechanena tripyanti tat skanda bhujopashaka prana upara chayatindriyanam tata sarva arhanam achyutijya. Yatataror mula nishechanena. If I want to give water to the tree and give it nourishment, I don't have to put it in all over the tree. I have to put it on the root. If I supply water to the root of the tree, it will nourish the whole tree. Yatataror mula nishechanena tripyanti tat skanda bhujopashaka. The branch, the bark, the twigs, the leaves will all be satisfied. Okay? That pranahupara chayatendriyanam. And if in my body there's weakness, I don't have to pick each part of the body to give nutrition. I just have to feed my mouth. It will go to the stomach and everything will be provided. Tatta sarva arhanam achyuteja. Therefore, simply by achyuta idya, worshipping achyuta, Krishna, Vishnu, sarva arhanam, everyone is worshipped. All obligations are fulfilled. What are the obligations? I mentioned in the beginning. Obligation to devatas, obligation to the forefathers, pitras, obligation to humankind before us who built a city. We are just walking and using the road. Obligation to the rishis. We are following the culture now, but it was created by the rishis. Okay, obligation to sun god, moon god, wind god. Unlimited obligations we have. But Shastra is saying, if you want to satisfy everyone, tata sarva arhanam achyuteja, simply satisfy Krishna. If Krishna is satisfied with us, then we have fulfilled our duty, we have no debt. For somebody living in this world who is a devotee, he is living a sinless life. Others are sinful. Vegetarians are sinful. Now in Bangalore, someone is writing everywhere, go vegan, vegan, go vegan, all the traffic light everywhere. So they are sinful, they are not offering. They should offer it to Krishna. Your vegan preparation. Everything should be offered, otherwise it's sinful. Sinful life means we'll not be happy, we'll suffer. When it accumulates, there'll be one big event to punish everyone. Only a devotee can be sinless because he has satisfied Vishnu. If in a big corporation, we have to use this example, that everyone is in corporate mind now. There's one CEO, then you have layers of managers, isn't it? If somehow you make friendship with the CEO, no one can touch you in that company, isn't it? Otherwise, someone may develop some enmity to you and create a problem. He'll create a problem. He's not giving you proper shift or something. And that's a problem. You have to make sure I'm in good terms with him. And then this manager, HR manager, I have to be in good terms with them. But if everyone knows how this manager likes this guy, then no one will do anything. So we should understand the supreme controller is Krishna. Everything is under him. And if he's pleased, then yasmin tushte jagat tushte, then everyone is satisfied with us if Krishna is happy. Satisfaction of Krishna means following. We have to follow. Codes of service of Vishnu is being given in this world. So as I mentioned, that in order to please Vishnu, the Vedas are there. We cannot make up our own methods, because if someone is telling me, please can you get me this and this medicine, I'm sick. So my friend, let me help him. So I went, I got another medicine, look, I give you this one. No, but doctor said I should have this one. No, take this. Okay, thank you. But he'll not have the medicine. He has to have his medicine. So we want to please Krishna. We have to listen to him. What does he want? So he says, he gives the direction, how you should live, what you should do. And if you follow that, Krishna is happy. When he's happy, then our life is perfect. Pleasure of Krishna. How to know if Krishna is happy? I am so happy. I am happy. Everything is going nicely for me. It means Krishna is happy. I heard one analogy also. Within the society of devotees. When devotees are pleased, Krishna is pleased. Now, pleased with you means if that person, devotees are all pleased with him, that means Krishna is pleased. In a material society, non-devotional, if someone is feeling happy, peaceful, and that means he's some good karma from past life. He did some good things. But we don't know what will happen this life, next life, we don't know. That kind of happiness is not permanent. But the happiness that comes from pleasing Vishnu by living in a devotional life, that's permanent. In the sense it never goes. Once you come to bhakti and you advance, then the next life you continue from there. We understand that verses in Gita. Neha bhikamana shasti pratyavaya na vidyate. Bhakti never diminishes and never gets destroyed. So whatever we do in advancement, it carries on to the next life. Everything else will be lost materially, whatever skills we got. So a person who is pleasing Krishna in living, the first thing is that he'll be very happy and he'll be more or less satisfied in life. If externally he's seen to be suffering, you can see that actually he's not suffering. In the sense, devotees have a different consciousness. They're not affected by material things so much. But whatever he's going through is for him to remove some mental blocks so that he can come to Krishna. Krishna's plan is to bring the devotee to him. So he may make you go through certain things to remove some tendencies or enjoying propensities so you can come to him. But generally speaking, if one is following the codes of bhakti in living, Krishna is happy, we avoid a lot of problems. Now, what is it that we please Krishna? As I mentioned, it depends on time and place. So the Vedas give this prescription. For Kali Yuga, how do you please Vishnu? In Satyuga, how to please? If you're in Gandharva Loka, how to please? It's different. One common example I give is that in Mahabharata it's mentioned that Arjun went to Indra's kingdom. Now when he went there, he met, I think it was Urvashi, I can't remember. And she wanted to associate with him. He said, no, you are associated with Bharat. It's given in the, no, not Bharat, one of the kings who is his, in the same family going back, she associated with him. He said that, therefore you're my mother, because he's my ancestor. She said, no, this is a different world, these rules are not there. Even if we associate, there'll be no sin, because this is Swarga. Then he said, no, but I'm from Manushya-lok, I have to follow that. Then they were like that argument, so she cursed him, that you become a eunuch. And then Krishna said, don't worry, that will come to use when you go to Virat. Later it became useful. So that was Krishna's plan. But the point is, the prescription of yajna changes with time and place. It is up to us now. We have a brain, we have, not like animal who cannot read. We have to properly understand what is required for us in Kali, and this is presented in Shastra, that Kalautad Hari Sankirtana. In Kali, if you simply sit, chant Hare Krishna in association of devotees with a picture of Krishna's avatar of Mahaprabhu in front, this is equal to yajna, homa. It is equal to temple worship. It's equal to dhyana in Satya Yuga. Krite yad dhyayato Vishnum tretayam yajato makhe dvapare paricharyayam kalautad hari sankirtana. What people did in Satya Yuga, dhyana, and Treta Yuga as yajna, homa, Dwapar in archan. In Kali, the same effect comes simply by sitting and chanting Hare Krishna. Now, for some people that looks too simple. How is that? Must be something complicated, and yeah, but no one can do anything now. They think this is too simple. How can this be the Yoga Dharma? But then see how many people came here today? If people will not even reach to do even this, and even if they come, there'll be different problems and things in the mind. Okay, we are so fallen in Kali Yuga. This is the only thing. So that means, for pleasing Krishna in Kali Yuga, we have to chant Hare Krishna. We have to chant, glorify Krishna, Kirtan. This planet now and this time of Kali Yuga, this is the best prescription. If we do this, everything will be satisfied, everything. Prabhupada explained that if we chant on the streets continuously, non-stop, like, well, there are 2 people here, but if there were 15 and they go on Harinam daily, Prabhupada said, if you do this continuously, what will happen? He said that within few decades there will be a Kshatriya government, whichever country it is, because it will bring people to higher consciousness. It will open up our mind, the clouds, like Maya, and we'll understand the truth, and we will take it. We'll become purified. So we will organize ourselves in a spiritual way, society, following the Vedas, everything. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna repeatedly on the street, it's very auspicious. So now, these obligations that we were talking about in the beginning, that we have obligations, we have to live like this, we are using resources, will be satisfied simply by sitting and chanting. Doing japa or sitting, and the more it is, the better, the more auspicious. You might have heard, how many of you read Science of Self-Realization, that book, fully? Okay, that is an extraordinary book, you have to read it, Introduction to Gita. It will be available upstairs on the book table. There's a narration, Prabhupada went to Chicago, and when Prabhupada arrived in Chicago, there was a big headline, crime, why, and what to do. So Prabhupada said, immediately I want to meet the chief of police. So he went, he said, we know what to do. Then the police said, okay, what will you do? He said that you give us a big hall in each part of the city, government should sponsor, that you rent the hall, we'll chant Hare Krishna, organize the parties, after that we'll distribute prasad. After some time, everyone will gradually raise in consciousness, there'll be no more crime. Then he said, we cannot do that because we are secular. Prabhupada said, this is not about secular religion. You have to survive as a society. Your society is falling. Now if you read newspapers in America, it's just, people cannot live there. Just in the train, someone is coming, killing, shooting. It's become it's increased a lot. It's unlivable society. So It's not now about secular, that you have to survive, understand about God and do yajna. We are not sectarian, whatever religion, anything, but our teachings are for soul to be purified, he has to do this. The system of yajna, as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, it says, Yajne Sankirtane Prayer Yajantihi Sume Dashaha, that those who are intelligent, in Kali, it says in Bhagavatam, those who are intelligent, they will take up the system of Harinam Sankirtan and get purified. Because, as it says in Shastra, that there is no other way to live a sinless life. Sinless. We are living in this world, using resources, we are indebted. How will you worship all the devatas? How will you satisfy? Just one way, worship Krishna. How to worship Krishna? Chant his holy names. This is the prescription for Kali Yuga. By chanting, one will get peace, happiness, and spiritual perfection. Shastra says, Nata parata upaya sarvabedeshu drishyate. There is no other way to get happiness now. So, it could be this life, could be next life, or after that. But at some point, we have to take up the chanting, gradually increase, and advance. Hare Krishna. Any questions?
As you said, demigods provide water.
Yeah, demigods provide.
But nowadays gods all this not happening. We have engineered groundwater extraction. That's important.
Okay.
That also is
Okay. So the question is, I said that demigods are providing water. But now they found a way to get water from the ground. We don't have to do yajna, we'll just build a bore well and get water. But do you understand that now what they call the water table is drying up? Underground there is water. This is drying up at a very fast rate in India. In Bangalore it's dried up a lot. And anywhere industries are, it's drying up. And so that water is also finishing. Then what will you do? There are different ways of getting water. Previously water will come so much. Still there are places, we went to Karnataka in the south, Dakshin Kannada, you dig few feet, water comes in. And people there are very pious, very nice. You try to build an analogy. Where people are getting abundant supplies of things, they are pious. Where they are born in desert, nothing means it's sinful. It's a sinful birth. Even snow, no vegetation. Yeah, so ultimately you have to, water will finish. What's that?
Return in the Vedas that with every yoga the way of doing yajna is different.
Yeah, that is the shlok that I said. Kritya Dhyayato Vishnum in Satyayug. Actually there's a longer narration. That narration says that in 11th canto of Bhagavatam, King Nimi is explaining that in Satyayug, the Krishna incarnates in a white form known as Hamsa, and he speaks how to do dhyan, and everyone does dhyan. In Treta Yuga, he comes in a red color form with 4 hands. Each hand is holding the different things that you use in the homa. There are 4 kinds of spoons. One is to put the ghee, one is to arrange the wood, like that. So his name is Yajna. He comes in a red form with those hands. He gives the science of how to do that. Then in Dwapar Yuga, he's meant to come normally in a black form to give the temple worship standard. But once every 2000 Kali Yuga, he'll come personally like he did now. Krishna came himself. But actually an avatar comes who gives the science of worship. Then in Kali, he comes in a yellow form. And he himself is chanting Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam. He is chanting Krishna, Krishna, teaching people that. This is in 11th canto. Yeah.
How to identify that what debts we have to pay actually?
The debts. See, there's a lot of things you can't imagine. Just like eyes, for eyes to work, demigods are there. Okay? For feet to work, it's unlimited. You cannot count even. But previously, at least everyone did some panchupasan. In the grihasthas, they would do a yajna, and they would satisfy, because by sweeping they are killing animals, entities, by lighting the fire. So like this, in a house, there would be some killing of even small insects. So they had to do some yajnas. They were doing that and observing different procedures. But we don't have this knowledge now. No one knows. People are thinking living means I just have to earn money, eat, sleep, that's it. They forgot all about the yajna. And now to relearn it, it's difficult. Shastra is not there. So, out of great mercy, we are told just by doing that one yajna, everything is satisfied. So to know, that will be difficult. It's given in the Vedas, so much. Okay?
You told we cannot perform yajna in total kilometer radius of any place that has a death of.
Homa, yeah. Homa, not Homa means fire sacrifice. You know what is Homa? Okay, what generally people call yajna nowadays is that you light a fire, chant mantras, and then invoke Vishnu in the fire, then offer barley grains and chant mantras, and then do whatever procedure like Bhumi Puja or Diksha, whatever. Okay, so previously the main system of worship is everyone had to light a yajna and do it. They still do it in Madhva Sampradaya and maybe in Ramanuja Sampradaya. They will do the yajna daily. And then you see they walk out of the house with a black dot. Madhva followers. Then who has a black dot means that day he did yajna and that is from the yajna. It's not there, he didn't do. Nowadays less and less they're not doing. So Homa, to do that, actually it has to be in Shuchau Deshe, pure place. And that's one of the conditions. Therefore it cannot really be done. I mean, you can do the basic, some are done, but it cannot be for liberation, that's before. Yeah, question.
How much does the rain cycle play a role?
How much does what?
The rain cycle, condensation, evaporation, all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Does it even play a role or?
Oh, for rain you mean?
Yeah, because you said.
Okay, I said rain is given by Indra, but in school we learn something different. There's evaporation, condensation, then there's cloud seeding. And we heard that when there's hot weather, hot air goes up, condenses, comes as rain. Okay, but whatever it is, even that Krishna is doing. Because see, condensation, all that is not happening in Sahara Desert. So where it will be chosen, and then who will be born there, Krishna will choose. Even if you say there are procedures, now we figured out how the procedure works with our science. Still we cannot do it and force it in certain places. Where there's a desert, it's a desert. And whoever's born there is born in suffering. And someone else is born somewhere, there's plenty of grain or vegetables.
Krishna has all the appearances, but it is still required dimension.
Krishna has all opulences, yes. But still he is renunciate. Called a renunciant. No, it's not that he's called renunciate, but he has power of renunciation. In the sense, if someone has a lot of wealth and things, they become attached to it. But Krishna can just give it up and walk away. Okay, an example is given that he was in Ras Leela in the most beautiful women in the creation, and he just walked away. No, I'm just walking away now. So in that way they said he's renounced. In the sense, he has everything, but he's not bound by it. Anytime he'll leave and go. He's not attached. Tyag, that is renunciation. He's renounced. Not that he doesn't have anything. He has everything, but he's not attached. And we have everything. If it goes, we cry and we lament, oh, why did it go? I was so happy. It's different.
Can you even renounce Radharani?
Can what? Well, that is higher topic, I don't know. I'll become pure and understand who is Radha Krishna. Actually, it is Radha Pranay Prakriti Hladini Shakti Rasmad Ekat Mana Vabi Bhuvipura Deha Bhedam Gatha Utthav. They were one, they become two just for Leela. Radha Krishna one. Okay. As you said, cannot give up himself. Okay, Hare Krishna. Any more questions? Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
You said that we can fulfill our desires through data.
Yeah, what I was saying was, you see, we have tendency to enjoy in this world. You know, some people want to enjoy good food, good life, whatever, in a house. But if you don't follow the Vedas, even enjoyment you cannot get. Okay? That's what I was saying. The Vedas will teach you even how to enjoy, but in a pious way, get elevated and, okay. So what's the question?
My question is, how can we enjoy, how Vedas specify this to enjoy?
Oh, do you follow the guidelines? Okay, let me give you, again, I'm giving this example, this is very practical, okay, for us, okay. Now Veda says that people have tendency to, men and women to be together. So Veda says yes, but in marriage. And in the marriage there should be duties. You do this duty, you do that duty. Then you have samskars, 10 samskars, the child is born, then anaprashna. Then there's the samskar of writing the first letter, you have to follow these things. Then before the man and women unite to produce a child, they have to do a samskar, garbhadan samskar, do some yajna, so that the soul coming will be pious. I'm giving a practical example. Who's doing that today? So they're not. So nowadays marriage is just for fun or financial convenience, something. So then it will not work, and it's not working. There's a lot of problems of money, and then compatibility and divorce, and much worse. People are ending up in suitcases, in fridges, you know. It's very serious. So now if we want to live properly, happily, and get abundance, because Prabhupada said that if they do their duties properly, Lakshmi will come and reside in that house, there will be no shortage. So the answer to your question, how to properly live, you have to follow the codes, understand from Shastra. I mean, here in ISKCON they teach all these things. One has to live and properly satisfy, do whatever has to be done. Then there will be happiness and peace. You see, for example, I was preaching in Africa. Now in Africa you get very rich people. They don't know how to enjoy it. So their way of enjoying is, I got money, let me eat a lot of meat, because meat is expensive. Then all the rich people get heart disease and die early. They don't understand that, look, don't eat the meat, wait, take out the milk of the cow, now make rasgulla, now make gulab jamun, now make paneer. Don't kill the animal, then you cannot get milk. Instead you take out the milk, you can do so many things. Plus anyway, if you kill animal, you have to suffer so much. So instead, Prabhupada explained, just by combining milk and grains, we can make so many delicious things people can't understand. This they can't understand. But even if you follow Veda, even you can properly offer good items to the Lord for enjoyment. So like that.
Prabhuji, you said if you perform a yajna in the wrong way, it can be negative.
Yes. Yeah.
Like
Homa.
He said the wrong.
In the Homa, yeah.
So aren't we hopeless?
Yeah, so don't do that. Chant Hare Krishna. And it says, Prabhupada said, even if you say the name wrongly, Krishna said, but no, this guy doesn't know anything. He'll just accept it. Anyway, he's fallen, he's trying to chant Hare Krishna. Because, you know, ISKCON spread all over the world. It went to China. In China, they can't say Hare Krishna. What do they say? There's no R. R is replaced with L. Hare Krishna, Rama. So now, Prabhupada says, Krishna will accept. Now, if he's not going to accept that, then who will go back? No one, people don't know Sanskrit. Some cannot say Ram, Rama. They are saying all different things. Within India, some won't say Krishna, they say Krushna and like this, you know. So now, there's no Nam Nama Kari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Prita Nimita Smarne Na Kala. There's no rules. Chant Hare Krishna anytime, any place. Now this puja, homa, you can do, but don't rely so much. People put great emphasis. We can do, we do, but there must be Hare Krishna chanted there for you to be successful. Yeah, so Homa, even anything, it's hard to do now. You cannot do, you cannot properly execute it.
Like, is very common to discuss that bhakti will be never lost. That,
Yeah,
your level of bhakti will never decay.
yes, bhakti never lost.
Yeah, is it only for bhakti? Because I feel that even with the children, even in schools or colleges, suppose any fit for understanding anything, I think if you revise it again and again, come back, you can go on.
Next life. Now I'm talking about next life. See, next life, neha brahmana shasti pratyavaya na vidyate. Once you advance in bhakti, 10%. Next life you start from 11. You're born in a family, these things are given to you immediately, or you're born in a holy place, already these things are there. Now you just have to continue, finish that last part. It will not be lost. That's the meaning. But any material knowledge, you will lose everything. You have to start again. Even wealth, everything is.
Can bad karma finish?
Can bad karma finish the results of bhakti? That means if you do something bad, no, it cannot affect. But if you do offense to Vaishnava or Bhagavan like that, then it can become covered for a long time. It will not go, but it will be covered for a long time. Like in Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavatam we hear Chitraketu became Gajendra. It became an animal, then it was lost for some long time, covered. But it again, when the time is ready, it can manifest, come back. And Bharat became a deer. So even you can become an animal. And it can be covered, but it can again uncover after that.
Prabhu, we have also learned that bhakti will completely destroy your sinful activities.
Yes, bhakti completely destroys sinful reaction, yeah.
So how is it that it will still be manifested again? Your bad karma will nullify through some bad activities?
No, means some is remaining, no? As you're doing bhakti, it's a gradual process, so some sinful tendency is still there. So that maybe you did a mistake and covered. But whatever you did will not go. It can become covered. But one thing that's very dangerous is Vaishnava prad. When you offend a devotee, pure devotee, that's very dangerous for bhakti. It can seriously hamper our advancement. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to have Gaur Aarti as usual. I mean, some of you have your schedule and everything, but yeah, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So we'll have, and after the Gaur Aarti, there'll be a short